Students, now we will start with the new chapter, that is probability. In our day-to-day life, we come across statements such as it may rain today, probably Sanjay will top the class, I doubt he will be selected as a team captain. We say it is unlikely India will win the World Cup. Chances are high that prices of petrol will escalate. In these sentences, the words may, probably, doubt, unlikely, and chances, these words indicate uncertainties. And therefore, what is probability? Probability is a measure of degree of uncertainty of occurrence of events, or we may say degree of certainty of occurrence of events. So probability is a measure of degree of certainty of occurrence of events. Now let us see some terms related to probability. The first term is event. It is a collection of some or all possible outcomes of a random experiment is called an event. Suppose a coin is tossed. So either it will turn head or it will turn tail, and the collection of some all possible outcomes. So there are two possible outcomes, either head or the tail of a random experiment, and this is called as an event. Suppose a die has been thrown, then either it will turn 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6. It means there are 6 possibilities. So either it will be 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6, and therefore this collection of all possible outcomes is called as an event. Now the second term is an experiment. What is experiment? It means an operation which can produce some well-defined outcome, that is called as experiment. Coin is thrown or tossed. Coin is tossed, it will either have head or either tail as an outcome. So this operation which produce the well-defined outcome is called as the operation. So coin is tossed is an operation. Die is thrown. Out of a pack of 52 playing cards, one card is taken out, or one card is removed. This is an operation because it will give some well-defined outcome. Either it will be S, either it will be queen, either it will be king, like this. Now what is random experiment? An experiment is called random if it has more than one possible outcomes. And it is not possible to tell the outcome in advance. Suppose a coin is tossed. An experiment is called random. This is experiment because it gives some outcome, well-defined outcome. So it is called as an experiment. But such experiment is called random if it has more than one possibilities. In this case, it will be either head or it will be tail. So it has two possible outcomes. So these possible outcomes are more than one, and so we can call it as a random experiment, and it is not possible to tell the outcome in advance. We cannot predict whether it will be tail or a head, so we cannot tell it in advance. So such experiments are called as random experiments. Now next term is sample space. The collection of all possible outcomes of an experiment is called sample space. Two coins are tossed. Now this is an experiment because it has well defined outcome. So it is an experiment, and also it has more than one outcome, so it is a random experiment. Now these two coins are tossed, then on one it will be head and on the another coin it will be tail, or on the first coin it will be tail, or on the second coin it will be head, or on both the coins it will be tail, or on the both coins it will be head, and therefore there are four possible outcomes. These are more than one, so this is a random experiment, and this is called as a sample space. Now next is occurrence of an event. When the outcome of a random experiment satisfies the condition mentioned in the event, then we say that event has occurred. Coin is tossed and we are expecting to turn tail, and if it turns tail, then we say that the event has occurred, and this is called as occurrence of event. Suppose Dhoni is a captain of Indian team, and at the time of tossing, if Dhoni says it is head, and if it turns head, then for Dhoni the event has occurred, and for the opponent the event has not occurred. Now the favorable outcome. The outcome which ensure the occurrence of an event are called favorable outcomes to that event. Tossing of coin. Either it will be head or it will be tail. If Dhoni says head and it turns head, then this will be a favorable for Dhoni, and this outcome will not be favorable for the opponent. So for Dhoni, head is favorable, and if it turns tail, then tail will be favorable for the opponent of Dhoni. Next term is sure event. An event associated with random experiments is called certain event if it always occurs whenever the experiment is performed. Suppose there is a coin and that coin is biased coin. It means on that coin both sides there is a tail. And if such coin is tossed, then you will see that every time the coin is tossed, the outcome will be tail only. And such event is called as sure event. Generally the coin is not biased, it is unbiased. It means one side it is head and the other side it is tail. But if it is biased one and both the side is tail, then every time the coin is tossed, the outcome will be always T, that is tail. So such event is called as sure event. Now the next term is impossible event. An event associated with random experiment is called impossible event if it never occurs when every experiment is performed. Suppose the experiment is that find the dogs with 6 legs. It is not possible at all, and such event will never occur. And so such events are called as impossible event. Now the next is equally likely outcome. The phrase equally likely conveys the notion that each outcome of an experiment has the same chance of appearing as any other. Suppose a coin is tossed, either it will be head or it will be tail, and the chances for head and the chances for tail to appear are same, are equal. This has 50% chances and this has 50% chances. So the chances to both either head or tail are same, and therefore we call it as equally likely outcomes. Now this probability is denoted by probability of E, means the event, and it is given by number of favorable outcomes to E divided by total number of possible outcomes. Probability of E is given by number of outcomes favorable to E upon total number of possible outcomes. Now the range of the probability. The probability of an impossible event is 0. Dogs with 10 legs. Probability that is equal to 0 because this is not possible, and the probability of sure event is 1 because every time whenever the experiment is there, it is going to happen. So in this case the probability is 100%, so we say that the sure event probability is 1. Then next is sum of probabilities. The sum of probabilities of all elementary events of an experiment is unity, that is probability of event plus probability of non-event, that will be always equal to 1. So remember, probability of event plus probability of not event, that will be equal to 1. Now friends, here we will stop, and now in the next session we will start solving the problems related to probability. Thank you very much.